a lot of people that basically says, I'm thinking about going to this auction. What should I do? So the question that is, I want to help, give you an answer is, should you buy at auctions? Now, the answer in simple terms is 99% of the time, you should not buy at auctions. And I'm going to give you some details of why 99% of the time you should avoid auctions at all costs. Number one, let's just look at something that, in my opinion, it is not sufficiently taken in consideration by aspiring and growing property investors. And we're gonna go back to the chat line, and I see that so far we have a good split between about 40% that are novices, but 10% that are growing with 1 or 2 properties, and serious where you got 3 or 4 more properties, about the balance. So there's 2 sides to the coin, to the property coin. There's 2 sides to any purchase. One is price, okay, no need to explain that. The other one is terms and conditions. And terms and conditions can be as important, if not more important, than price. And this becomes very, very relevant to auctions, because on auctions, the terms and conditions are determined by the auctioneer, whether it is a sheriff auction, whether it is a bank repo, whether it is a commercial private auction, whether it's an on-site auction. There will be terms and conditions that are predetermined that you either accept or you walk away. Those terms and conditions can be very, very draconian. What do I mean by draconian? Can be skewed or are skewed to the benefit of the auctioneer and or the seller. So, for example, in the very vast majority of the auctions, while there might be a reserve price, i.e. the minimum price at which the seller is agreed to sell the property, most auctioneers use a strategy called ghost bidding. And I'm gonna talking about ghost biddings, I'm going to go into the chat line, because I am no ghost. Ghost bidding. And so you can go and do some further research after today. I'm going to open the doors to a bigger knowledge of your property mind. And Einstein says that once you open the mind, it never returns to its original size. So they use ghost bidders, and ghost bidders are very often employees or agents of the auctioneer to bid up the price all the way to reserve price. So let's say that the reserve price is $1 million. You make an opening bid for 500,000. Now you're gonna get a competing bid for 600,000, and you think this is actually a genuine other buyer that wants to buy the property as much as you do. That's not the case. This is a ghost bidder. So you're effectively bidding against yourself. Now, in my view, our beautiful Republic of South Africa should actually make these practices absolutely illegal from a Consumer Protection Act, but they're not. So this is just an example. I'm going to give you another couple of examples that I've prepared here. The other one is the occupation clause. Now, as you know, you can buy a property, but what about occupation? What about your ability to walk into the property? What about your ability to either move into the property or to actually place a tenant? Now, the very vast majority of auctions, and that's why you need to read the fine print, will not warrant vacant occupation. What does it mean? It basically means that the auctioneer, once they've sold your property, it's up to you to make sure that you can get occupation of the property. And it might very often be illegally occupied by professional squatters, which is exactly why the previous seller is selling the property. And even last week, I was on a call with a property investor that bidded at a sheriff auction, paid the deposit of about 250,000 rand. And then when he went to the property, he realized that these people are not going to let him in. These people are fighting for their illegal right of occupation. They now have a 1.2 million debt with the city of Tshwane, because while they are legally occupying, they're still getting water, they're still getting electricity. So now, yes, the property was bought at a great price, but this is actually a really, really bad deal. So this is another example of why you think you got a great price, but you got to be exceptionally careful about the occupation. I'm going to give you another example about the confirmation period. Again, when the hammer falls and you think you've got a winning bid, most auctions terms and conditions will say that the auctioneer reserves the right for a period of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to seek competing bids. So at that point in time, you think you won the bid, you have paid your 10% deposit. On private auctions, you also would have paid another 10% plus VAT auctioneer fee, or 8% plus VAT auctioneer fee. So on a million rand property, you've put down real cash for about 200,000 rand, and now the auctioneer is shopping around with their database to say who's going to give me more. And if they get more, you are out unless you increase your bid further. So I don't know about you, but and I don't see anybody in the chat line going with a sort of like eyes wide open, because auctions are a big industry and they're not there to tell you all the truth. They're there to show you a property to make you greedy, but when you get greedy, you can actually make some really, really expensive mistakes. And a lot of the knowledge sharing, education that I bring in through the Property Hack Club is to make sure that you take the profit without the risks. So, out of like literally almost 100 properties that I've personally bought, I bought one on auction, and I bought it after the auction, where you can dictate the terms and conditions of the sale rather than being informed by the standard terms and conditions of the sale. So this is a good start. And let me know if this is of value to you, if this is the kind of local and practical knowledge and information that you are after. Because before you make money, you got to make sure you don't lose money. I think it goes back to Warren Buffett, rule number 1 of making money: don't lose money. And rule number 2, don't forget about rule number 1. So that's really, really important.